Hey folks, Mike here, bringing you a project update and a short little demo of what I've been working on recently. Sorry if I sound a little under the weather. Had a little bad bout of health issues, but nothing major. So what I have here, picked this up recently online, and it's an older kit. It's the 1998 Serpent custom from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. I built the 1/144 scale. This is the 1/100 scale, and so far it's coming along really nice. I've gotten all the seam lines pretty much taken care of. If you can see there, this is an older kit, so it has a lot of seam lines on it, all down the middle. Basically, everything's split in half, except for maybe the chest. The chest was probably the best out of the whole thing. But I got it all painted up in the color scheme that I want. Bringing it as close as similar to the original box art as hopefully I can. I used Mr.Color Paints on the entire kit. I didn't have this gray, so I had to mix a couple of colors to get that gray. I think Titan's Blue is one of them. But yeah, I got it pretty nice. So those are lacquers, and the kit is gloss coated with Pledge Floor Care. Did some nice little hand painted details on the missiles and these vents using the Mecha Color Red, which actually brush paints very nicely. I'm not crazy about them as far as airbrushing. I mean, they airbrush well, but the durability thing that they're being sold as being stronger, I'm kind of on the fence. So what my next step... Oh, and I got all the weapons done too. So these actually came out really nice. Big weapons on this kit. I didn't realize. I mean, it's an older kit, and it's an HG 100 scale, 1/100 scale. So it's got a nice size to it. But it's also light, so it has because it has no inner frame. And I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but so far I'm enjoying the kit very much. And I mean, the hands are good and nice. Some articulation to them, but you know, they move around, they do the job. And basically the next step, and this is the demo part of the video, is I'm going to do the good old-fashioned model making guru Starship Filth Gunk wash. I did it so far on a few model kits, and I like the results. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Basically, it's this brown, it's like a brown-black oil paint made by Abteilung 502. That's the name of the company. It's a drier oil paint, so it doesn't have as much oil in it, so it makes it easier to use for model kits. And it's a really simple thing of just slathering it all over the model parts and then just wiping it off with a towel. So I got my towel, I got my brush, and I'm just gonna do a few pieces really quick here just to show how it's done. There are other videos online that you can see where it's done, and the technique is basically the same, you know, no matter where you go. So let's just squeeze out some oil paint. I got a nice synthetic flat brush for that. Just load some up on the tip of the brush here. And so that's why I put the Pledge on there with the gloss coat, to protect it, give it some level of protection. I'm going to see if I can do this without. And then this is the really nerve-wracking part, just covering the whole thing. and this serves two purposes. It's going to stain the model with this darker color, and it's also going to panel line it. I want to get in there. I'll probably have to use a Q-tip to get that out, but I have to scrub it in. Trying to extend it because I don't want to burn through this whole tube, but I did recently for a modeling show. I did an A-wing, the Bandai, it's 172 scale Star Wars A-wing fighter, and I didn't paint it at all. I just left it bare plastic. But what I did was I sealed it, and then I just did this to it, and it came out really great. And everybody was pretty impressed with it for the fact that it wasn't painted. And you see I got some oil paint already on my fingers. So this is a really sloppy technique. This is a great color. It's like a black brown, and it's got a hint of blue in it. And I want to get into all the nooks and crannies here. I did pre-shade the model. I kind of hate pre-shading at this point. I think, well, I primed it gray. Primed it gray, and then I sprayed in all the pre-shading black. And that took twice as long to do. And I ended up with the same results. Well, actually, not as good a results as if I had just primed the whole thing black in the first place. So, with that being said, I have acrylic black primer, but I want to get some lacquer primer. So I ordered a bottle of the black Alclad lacquer primer, and I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. So you can see here, I got this all gooeyed up, and I'm trying to get in here too on the underbelly. That'll create some nice shadows. Get there. All right, that looks covered. So eventually what I'll do is probably go do a few more pieces before I circle back and start removing this. I don't like to let it sit too long. It doesn't really need to sit that long at all, but I guess the longer you let it sit on there, the more it's going to stain the model, stain the paint a little bit, but it's nothing too severe. Maybe like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes maybe at the most. You can see it's a little thick in some spots, so I could actually get some off there. Yeah, so that looks good for now. So I'll come back to this in about 5-10 minutes, and then wipe it all off basically with the towel, and you see the end results. Alright, so I let the oil paint sit for about 5-10 minutes, and I have a lint-free cloth here. And what all I'm going to do is, I better get some Q-tips too, just get into the tough spots. So I'm going to just use this towel to just wipe this stuff off. You can see how intense the wow, that really shaded the hell out of that. I'm gonna take that off that. At this point I can just hold it in my hand. You see it just wipes off. Nice and easy. You see all these spots from underneath. Inside. I don't mind if that's going to dry in there. Keep it with a Q-tip. Alright, so I got most of the oil off. Missed a spot right in there. Like I said, it's a sloppy process. Not that bad really, but definitely should wear gloves for it. And this oil paint's pretty good because afterwards what I'm going to do is probably to reinforce a couple of areas. I'm going to come back and thin some of it out, maybe with a little lighter fluid or just a little thinner, and just reinforce some spots. So this is what the piece looks like now. Let's get the towel of the shot here. You can see it focused up. And here's a side by side of what it looked like, the other leg without it. So, I mean, it's a noticeable difference, right? I think so. Add some character to it, add some detail, and I don't really have to do much as far as panel lighting. And yeah, so I'll just gotta do the rest of the kit, and then I'll just have to do some detailing afterwards. And that's it, kids. All right. Have a good night.